Before the podcast starts, I would just like to say all of the podcasts are now available on iTunes.
We would like to thank the audience for getting us to a point where we can appear on the iTunes homepage for podcasts.
A link to all the iTunes podcasts will be in the description from each video from now on.
And thanks again for listening, whether you're on YouTube or iTunes, and here's a podcast for today.
Hello, welcome back to Sit and Chat, and I'm Whyte.
I'm Jamie Allan.
And I'm Duncan Paisley.
Thanks for coming on, Duncan. I know you've had to walk all the way over from your room to here.
It did take me a whole half hour to get out of my bed just to get here.
I appreciate it, you're going through the real effort to get here. So, are you glad to finally be invited on?
I mean,
Is this like the biggest moment of your life?
it definitely ranks in about the top 400s.
I appreciate that. The top 400 is somewhere I like to set out for in life. So, Duncan, I'll start with you, but I'll start with everyone else. What is your first ever memory?
My first ever memory.
Yeah.
Falling off of a swing in a park and my dad failing to catch me. Which is, it's not one of his proudest moments.
Did you fall on your head?
I did fall on my head.
That
yeah.
explains a lot.
It's not the first time I fell on my head, so if you're wondering about,
I'm sure the audience will have many questions for that later when you start speaking. What age were you then?
I think apparently I was about 2, so...
That's actually quite good for memory in terms of being able to remember.
I mean, most of my memories from when I was young is me falling over and my dad failing to catch me, so...
There's a good
Did he
theme.
attempt to catch you?
He did attempt.
That's what you can ask
So he
for.
says.
At least you didn't have to phone child services, but...
Well, it was South Africa, there's not many child services.
Go on then, we might as well start from the beginning. So obviously you're South African native. Where were you born?
I was born in Cape Town, the capital. The cool place to be.
The cool place. Do you not rank anywhere else in South Africa that highly?
I mean, it at least had roads with minimal potholes in it, so...
That's a good start. So what was it like being a young lad in South Africa then?
I don't know really, it was kind of like here except a lot warmer and less lawful, I guess.
Less lawful.
Yeah, our house got broken into 3 times, I think, in like 4 years.
Only 3 times.
But it was fine because it was like casual break-ins. Yeah, the last time a guy broke in, he kind of just browsed through our belongings and decided to take only a Travis CD. So I can only assume he had very specific music tastes.
Yes.
Maybe he couldn't find it in the shop and he was just really desperate for that CD.
It's possible, but he did ignore what was a fairly expensive computer at the time. So
maybe it wasn't the smartest either.
That
Maybe.
you could constantly listen to it on. Aye, right, I get where you're coming from. Travis, it's good. It is good.
Would you break into a house for his CD though?
Would I break in? South Africa, we're going to say it's very unlawful. I'd say aye, I probably would.
You'd probably get away with it.
I'm going to say the guy, big up the guy because he's done well there. Aye, I'd do the same.
So what was like? Were you like thrown into a lot of like crimes and stuff in the area you were around? Like not being involved in, but like seeing a lot of it happen firsthand.
I was proximate to crimes. I happened to be nearby when crimes were occurring, but that's kind of just part and parcel of being in South Africa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of what my neighbour did was extremely illegal, including building his homemade flamethrower. Oddly enough, his house was never burgled, so...
Just as well, probably.
I could imagine why it's no, probably just sits a flamethrower at the door.
Yeah, if you have that aimed at the door, I would not break into that house.
Especially since he got rid of his front door in order to test his flamethrower on the front door.
Right.
Which is probably part of the reason that no one decided to go into his house.
Yeah, nah, fuck that.
Yeah. He's the same guy that built a big castle in his back garden out of plywood. For reasons that are still unclear to me.
Like, did you just live beside ours?
Yeah.
It's a fucking excellent neighbour though.
To be fair, if he ever, if you're good terms with him and he saw your house get broken into, you could probably rely on him to do a job.
We were on fairly good terms with him. It was just, he's that kind of guy where you're always wondering, is he just going to snap and go insane at any moment?
Was he the kind of neighbour where you go at the back and you're hanging out the wash and you could say hi to him though?
Yeah, there was only kind of chest high brick walls, if that, in the back garden, so...
So what was the worst ever crime that you were exposed to as a lad? In South Africa at least.
don't know. We did once accidentally drive into like a gang shootout.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
one I was waiting for.
Between the gang and the police. But fortunately, they had kind of mostly paused, and then my mum realised, wait, we shouldn't be here, and just kind of did a U-turn and drove away.
If I'm seeing bullets fly, I'm fucking out of there. Like,
It's like,
I mean, it's more of a cultural experience in South Africa rather than a crime. So,
was it character building?
yeah, it was culturally enriching.
What? So like, what was it? These local gangs near your house, or was it in the centre, or what?
That was more in the town. I don't know because I was but a wee lad at the time, and I only know about it from my mum telling me. So
Fair enough. Oh well, at least you don't have a memory, because I imagine that's not a great memory.
yeah, it'd probably be a bit traumatic.
So then, so what was the average day in the life then of you when you were younger out there? Did you have the usual staying and play games, or was it, because in my head, like South Africa and like how would you say, like more third world countries, it's sort of like go out, play until dark sort of thing. That's what the experience I got from it when I was over there sort of thing was.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially since, you know, my family didn't have much money until right before we left, which was why we left, because we ended up having money and you kind of want to keep it. So
I wouldn't help if your house gets robbed.
yeah, most of the time was like, you know, you go to school or whatever, you come home, you play outside in the street until your parents forcibly drag you inside.
That's always a good fun. So what was school then? I know you didn't experience much of it, but what would you say school was like over there compared to here?
To call it misbehaved would probably be a bit generous on it, I think.
From yourself, I take it.
No, I was, oddly enough, one of the more well-behaved children. You know, it's kind of the South African way to be a massive cunt, even when you're a child. So you can imagine what school is like. And thank God I didn't have to go to high school there, because, you know, I heard from my dad about just how fun it was with people who were just actual nutters who would just kind of wander up and staple your t-shirt to you because they thought it was funny. So
we didn't get that until high, to be fair.
No, we never know. No, I'm fucking glad we never.
yeah, apparently there was this other thing they did which they called the sandwich, where in gym they would grab some random small person and throw them onto a crash mat, and then you throw another crash mat on top of them, and then everyone jumps on top of that crash mat.
Yeah.
No, that I experienced. I don't think I done PE that much, to be fair. But
I was a Thindley Hampden primary school. Yeah,
I was a lazy, but I'm still a lazy bastard.
Very true. So, if you could go back and live in South Africa, would you?
No. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a really nice country, it's just the problem is all the people that live there.
So you go there maybe as a tourist again, never to live there?
I mean, it's nice to go and visit my family, but I wouldn't want to live there, because, you know, it's the kind of place where you can't really go outside for a walk if you want to, at least not on your own.
Have you ever been mugged or that while you've been out there?
No, because I was smart enough to, you know, not put myself in that situation, really. But like there are like canals and that kind of stuff around there, and then the kind of place where you just don't go and walk because you're pretty much guaranteed to someone mugging you.
Fair enough.
Possibly more than once, which gets awkward for the second mugger when he realises, you know,
he's got nothing left.
He's got sloppy seconds. There's no real benefits. It's
you steal his clothes and his shoes. I mean, that's something you could take.
I wouldn't put it past a mugger to do that, really.
Well, I mean, you know, if you set your way to specifically mug someone, then you're going to want something.
Well, I mean, judging by the whole Travis CD theft, maybe you're after something very specific.
Well, maybe. Well, if there's one thing, though, from South Africa that you could have over here all the time, what would it be?
Probably the really nice beaches.
Yeah,
that's kind of lacking here.
Just
I mean, we've got Bonex Beach. I mean, that's lovely.
You never been to Sky, mate. Fuck's sake.
I'm gonna stick by the whole nice beaches thing.
Yeah, we have about 4 here. I'm going to guess you have more.
4 whole beaches. I mean, you
no,
could
4 nice beaches.
Oh, 4 nice beaches.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm talking ones with sand that are nice. I'm not getting the stones one. They're not nice.
They're not real beaches.
Yeah, no.
I mean, 4 nice beaches. I mean, that's like what, literally just what's in like maybe one side of Cape Town.
Yeah, well, do you know what? Only one of them's only like about a 50-minute drive away from here, you know, that isn't too bad.
Only a 50-minute drive.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Now I'm enticed.
Through like country roads, so you literally have to drive there, so you can't even take like the bus or like the train or anything.
What's the benefit of having nice beaches? But you know what I mean,
it's not just that it's a nice beach. It's you got nice weather. You live right next to the beach. You can just walk down to it when you feel like it.
Right.
And
You can in South Africa, though, he says.
I mean, you could if you walk along the right paths.
Right. Okay.
Is it a place where you get mugged during the day easily as much as night though?
I mean, not particularly. Not unless you're like walking through like some kind of overgrowth or like along a canal path. Canal paths are pretty suspect.
Or not like Venice then.
Nah, or if you go through the area that's called Hillbrow, which is it's in Johannesburg specifically, but it's kind of famous as the worst area for crime.
Johannesburg in itself is pretty famous for being pretty fucking rough.
I mean, yeah, that's probably fair, but like, no, actually no. I mean, you say that, but actually, like, there's more violent crime in Cape Town than in Johannesburg.
I mean, I know the famous one that always sticks out to me is Johannesburg's like the most, it's where the most car like robberies take place.
That's probably because of Hillbrow, because because you can accidentally drive into Hillbrow without realizing what you're doing, and it's the kind of place where if you stop at a traffic light, you know, you've got maybe a 50% chance of some guy coming to smash your window and then having a rummage around in your glove compartment, or just, you know, grabbing whatever is on your front seat.
Fair enough. So, obviously, you said your parents got a wee bit of money and decided for themselves we're going to move away. Why in Scotland did they pick to move here?
Because my dad's Scottish. That's pretty much the whole reason.
Okay, maybe I should go back then. Why did your dad go to South Africa?
Because my grandpa was kind of a big, like, I don't know how to describe it, like, industrial worker, like, miner, like, all the kind of
you get a lot of
hardcore stuff, yeah.
And
South Africa had the world's deepest gold mine, probably still does. And that's where he worked for ages, and yeah, that's basically why. So my dad actually grew up a lot in South Africa, because he was there from a kid on and off.
On and off.
Yeah, because they would travel back and forth around the country and up to.
Was he born in Scotland?
He was born in Scotland, yeah.
Whereabouts?
I believe it was in Glasgow.
Oh no, poor him.
I know, right?
And he didn't get stabbed in South Africa or
from one rough area to another.
Yeah, he didn't get it easy.
My grandpa is pretty much the cliche Glaswegian, so.
Well, he was safe then, was he?
Yeah, he's the kind of guy where, you know, you wouldn't want to do anything like even slightly threatening just in like a 1 mile radius of him, because he'd somehow sense it and then just fucking batter you.
He would like thrust his arm across the mile to batter.
Somehow it would happen.
So when you moved over, what age were you?
Up here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe it was something like 7ish or 8ish.
And where was it you moved to?
First we moved to Edinburgh, and I was in the wonderfully named Broughton Primary, which I just it genuinely sounds so atrocious to me. I don't know why they keep the name.
It's probably is it still there?
Yeah, yes. I've head past it a couple of times.
Sounds like the kind of school that would have been knocked down in the early 2000s.
You'd think so. It's probably historic in some way, is my guess.
It's from Edinburgh. Everything's historic there.
Yeah, and we were like renting out this flat for super cheap from a guy my dad knew. Because they were looking to like sell the flat to someone, and we got to rent it cheap while they were looking to sell it. And
did they have a plan? Sorry, just to go back. Did your parents have like a plan, like when they came over here, where they like were dead set on doing so and so and going to this area, or did they just come over here and hope to find somewhere?
Ultimately, they were on the hunt for somewhere to go and educate me in a way that wasn't completely AIDS, like South Africa would have been.
I mean, that's fair enough that they're looking out for you, I suppose.
And my mum even sent my dad across like a year ahead of time to like scout for places to live and whatever, and to like get a job ahead of time.
Fair point.
Yeah.
So yeah, how long did you live in Edinburgh then?
It can't have been that long. I think it was about a year or so. Maybe 2, and then we moved to Linlithgow.
Where you spent the majority of
pretty much, yeah. Then we lived in Linlithgow for like, that would have been 10 plus years. Like, no, it must be about 13, 14, I think.
Fair enough.
Roughly, yeah. And then I lived in Stirling on and off from like the age of 18 or so.
So, what is it like in the world of Linlithgow?
Believe it or not, it's incredibly boring.
Really?
It does not surprise me one single bit. See, if you could sum Edinburgh up in one word, what would the word be?
Edinburgh?
Aye.
Expensive as fuck. Which is 3 words, but I felt I needed the clarification.
Right, and then Linlithgow. And again, one word, but we'll go with 3 if you need it.
Boring as fuck.
Yeah, boring as fuck.
Right, okay, right.
I mean, there were exciting things, but you know, they were mostly like secret drug dens that I didn't know about. So
I mean, coming from South Africa, where you've seen fucking shots getting fired to Linlithgow, where you've nothing today. I can see where you're coming.
Yeah, no, I mean, it would have been a struggle from your walking distance of the beach to your walking distance of a pub. A child isn't much use, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
So did you spend primary school, like the rest of your primary school and high school when you were there?
Yeah.
What was school like for you then? Because this is obviously where you spent most of your school life.
I was, believe it or not, something of an unruly child.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't guess from
I was classified as a problem child, and they had like kind of incentives to make me do work.
What were said incentives?
It was like, I don't know if you ever had like golden time and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was things like that where
the
like,
golden time's fun, man.
It was
it's
like if you do your homework, you get 5 minutes extra golden time. I was like, yeah, but none of my friends will be like, you know, like.
Mate, you couldn't miss out on Fantastic Friday, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Is that what you had? Nah, we had golden time.
Yeah. It's changed every time though. We had Marvellous Monday. We had Terrific Tuesday.
It sounds like a holiday destination when you're 17, Marvellous.
Mate, I swear to God, it got worse as the week went on. Then it was Terrific Tuesday. Right? You get this a wonderful Wednesday. Right? And I couldn't think of one for Thursday, right? So you know what they came up with?
Did they reuse Terrific?
They reused Terrific. Terrific Thursday. Terrific Thursday. And then obviously Fantastic Friday. It was embarrassing. But I tell you what, you go to play football every day for 45 minutes at the end of the day.
Lunch,
you know what I mean? You can't back that. That's what I'm saying. Fucking the names were absolutely woeful.
I'm glad we didn't have names like that at school.
Big up the Boston Primary, mate.
I can just imagine you as a child just going, this is shit.
I mean that's probably why I was classified as a problem child.
Yeah,
because that was kind of a reaction to a lot of things.
I mean, you've always been because the very first podcast we spent the majority of time talking about education, how it's maybe failed some folk to a certain degree. I know obviously you're quite a bright person, but you didn't maybe get the results at school because you didn't try your best. Would you say it's a 50-50 problem? Would you say it's a combination of you being a bit of a dick and also school not helping you in the right way, or is it another percentage, would you say?
I was only a dick because the school started it.
You sound so mature at 25.
All I'm saying is, you know, that the thing that fucking the straw that broke the camel's back was remainders, alright? I still remember it. Because, like, it was, you know, okay, this is really easy, I can do this, you know. It's fine, I've learned it, and they're like, okay.
What age were you?
I would have been, like, I don't know what age that would have been. I think that was, like, primary 3 or something, primary 4.
And you're doing remainders?
No, it can't have been, maybe primary 2. I don't know. My perception of time is very poor.
You're doing remainders in, like, primary 2?
Something like that, yeah. That was kind of probably why I got pissed off with it, because it was so simple.
I mean,
but yeah, I remember having to do page after page after page, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm just gonna do other things now. And yeah, that's kind of where it all started.
Yeah. Did you ever get did they ever try and help you, do you think?
I mean, they tried to incentivize me to just do the work, and I wasn't gonna do the work, so it didn't work. Was
there ever like a teacher though that, like, you know how most schools have that one nice teacher that's always like trying to look out for you best, like, because Jamie as well struggled with school and he didn't enjoy it as well, but there's always still at least like one teacher that would always like treat him well. Do you ever think like you got that?
I mean, there was a teacher that threw a book at people in my school. Like textbook.
Did that help you in any way, shape or form?
I mean, he probably laughed.
It wasn't in my class, and she ended up getting fired, so I was like, oh, that's okay. She wasn't very nice anyway.
But was that in South Africa?
This was in Linlithgow. Primary school.
Linlithgow primary, not even high school.
That was primary.
Fucking throwing it like a 5-year-old or something.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, be shit. That did it.
Aye, that's why you couldn't be a teacher.
Aye, hold on.
So then, she was an old teacher from the good old days of, you know,
caning and
fucking belt and smack on the knuckles with a ruler and stuff.
Oh,
I wish I was in those days. Like,
you wish you were in those. Like, you would have got it so many times. You realise.
See if we could go back just for 5 weeks, right?
5 weeks, a bit.
Right, a month then to that school, right?
Right, fine.
When schools were like that, I'd love to experience it. I'd go there in a second, like.
Really? You would?
I would go back.
If anyone I thought would do, because like you dealt with because you struggled.
But bear in mind, after that month, I'm coming back into the real world, like where we are.
Oh, you're thinking maybe you'll appreciate it more, sort of thing.
Aye, maybe. But I would go back and I would experience it for the month.
You would get fucking destroyed by teachers.
I would fucking love that.
What? The challenge of can I break these teachers before they break me?
Pretty much.
I mean, they'd probably break you first.
But let's be honest.
I'd grab the rule and snap it though.
They'll have more.
It's a wooden one. It's not one of those plastic shitty ones that we have in our school. Oh, yeah, you're right. Do you know what? I would go back in time just to observe this.
Fucking guns, mate. You know what I'm saying? I'm just bang. Snap that shit. And then if he whipped out the belt, mate, I'd whip it off him and whip them with it. You know what I'm saying?
So, Duncan, did you ever think of trying this at school?
No, I didn't. That seems like a terrible idea.
I would have a field day with that. Like,
So did your parents sort of like realise that you were struggling and try and help you, or were they always like moaning at you for being quite a wee shit in school?
I don't know. I don't remember much of either, really.
This is the problem with getting someone who's too old on the podcast. I can't remember their early childhood, you know.
Well, that's my, like, I can barely remember primary school. Like, there's just bits I remember about.
No, I'm going up to high school.
High school I can remember fairly well.
Yeah, no, would you say then? Well, also you told me in the past that you were the same little shit as well when you're in high school.
I mean, it largely depended on the teacher I got. Because there were a lot of teachers that I got on quite well with.
Yeah, I mean, that happens with most people.
Then there were some teachers that just for some reason took an instant dislike to me, so I returned the favour. And yeah, one of them was my French teacher, which is probably why I only got like because I did standard grades, I only got 3.
Oh no, he's one of them people.
Yeah.
Ancient.
you took French as well, eh?
Yeah, but I had as well. Actually, funnily enough, I had the same. What do you remember, Mrs. Muir from high school?
I do, aye.
Yeah, no, I had her like. So bear in mind as well, from primary school, I was pretty like well behaved. Like there's nothing usually that I did that was wrong. And then when high school happened, yeah, cheers for that. And then when high school came along, she just took an instant disliking to me because I wasn't very good at French, and you know, this is before they discovered I was dyslexic, so they just basically presumed I was thick as fuck.
And they weren't wrong.
Yeah, but nah, she used to just hammer me.
Mr. McAdam, he was a dick.
Do you know what as well though, right? The thing with her is as well, like you know how you get these teachers, right, that favour like certain pupils and then have a complete dislike to the class.
Yeah.
She was one of those teachers, right? But every she'd specifically favouritize like the lasses in the class. However, right, every single person in that class hated her. like see during parents' night one year, my mum was saying to the thing about my mum is every time I told her about something school, she was like, come on, you're over exaggerating a wee bit, and then she'd meet the teacher and go, oh my god, you're actually spot on. Like see when it was come to like meeting this Mrs. Muir, right, literally like when she was waiting outside the class with me and that, literally every single one of the people just went, oh I absolutely hate her, can I please not go in and see her? And she's going, wow, everyone really hates her, don't they? But then, okay, so what did you keep yourself entertained then when you were in Scotland, now that you obviously didn't have the beaches to go to every day?
I mean, for a while I did go out and do sports and whatever. I did like very casual football, I went swimming, I did basketball, and I did taekwondo.
Oh, pretty athletic, shouldn't.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
How the mighty have fallen. No, it's then I got fucking horrific eczema and I couldn't like do exercise anymore.
Really? Is that a thing that comes with it?
What do you mean?
Like I didn't realise.
Oh no, it's because like my skin would literally like break.
That doesn't sound nice.
And so like if I sweat at all, you know how sweat kind of has salt in it. If it went into the breaks, it would sting like a bitch. It's like going for a swim in the sea when you've got a cut. So for obvious reasons, I kind of stopped doing any kind of sport or any kind of strenuous activity. Really,
is there not like a cream that would dissolve that?
It's sadly not quite that simple.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess that wouldn't. I was just wondering if it did or
you can get stuff that mitigates it, and you can like basically the only thing that really like kind of mitigates it properly is steroids, and they're not very good for you.
Do you not fancy being hench?
It's not enough steroids to get hench, sadly.
No, for
it's just enough to be bad for you, but not enough to let you get hench. So
that's rubbish. Those are terrible steroids. You at least want to be hench if you're taking them. So then, is this where you? At what point you moved on to? Well, actually,
that's pretty much when I went into video games. Yeah, because you don't need to run around for video games.
Yeah. So what consoles did you have then growing up?
The earliest console I had myself was a PlayStation.
PlayStation 1.
Yeah, PlayStation 1. But I remember playing on a Nintendo 64, the Super Nintendo. What a console! Playing Mario at the after school club.
Oh dear.
It's the best.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, no, it does sound like, because we've got hundreds of games in the flat as well, but I've really, over like the last year and a half, sort of fallen off from playing games. Apart from FIFA, I really don't enjoy it anymore, but you still love playing, like, you're always fucking playing video games. Why was it like do you reckon at the time because you couldn't do sports, it was just sort of like, well, I have to do something with my time?
It's because I needed something to kill time, and I basically read every book that I could get my hands on. And
your mates are out playing sports, you couldn't obviously join them with
you. So I was like, I guess I'll just play video games. And then I played it so much that I got really good at them. And that's kind of why I keep playing them now, because it's really satisfying to like fucking smack people that are bad at them now.
Like with me against Jamie at FIFA.
I know, I'm always smacking myself. I get that satisfying feeling you get.
Yeah.
You know, you spank them 3-1. That's just the gravy that you want to taste. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally do. Totally.
It's a bit like me with COD. That was shit hot COD.
Just always playing it until I find out like you're fucking stupid good.
Aye.
I mean, that's probably the only reason, to be fair, I actually play FIFA, because it's the only game I'm sort of half decent at. Which is kind of a shame, but
debatable.
Fuck you, Jamie.
Well, it's fun to do things you're good at.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does help. It's not always good to do things that you're shit at. However, we still play pool all the time.
I'm not that bad at pool. How dare you? I'm variable.
In other words, shit.
No, there's times where I'm fucking amazing, and you know it, Liam.
Yeah, no, to be fair, there is times, however, I'd say it's a sort of 70-30 split of being bad to good.
That's very mean.
It's true, though.
I would have said it's more 50-50.
No, I do not believe, especially after the last thing we feels to say.
Yeah, well, that was one time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Times before that, I was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'll be kind to you and I'll let you have it.
The problem is, right, that you're actually so bad at pool that you cannot recognise when other people are good at it, because you're so underneath where everyone else is that the good and bad play all looks the same to you.
Whoa. I won a game once. I'll have you know I'm professional.
I feel like that makes my point for me.
So, you're saying about obviously the X-Men that you've also been quite unlucky growing up with certain illnesses and certain things that have stopped you in life. Do you want to go through like the ones that you've got that sort of hinders you?
It's a fucking what hinders me now or used to hinder me.
You can go from then and now.
I've kind of grown out a lot of the shit that used to.
What did you used to get affected by?
I guess the biggest problem, right, was because for some reason I kept falling and hitting my head. Yeah.
You know me.
Yeah. I use it against myself anyway. I ended up getting a really bad concussion like one time. That was when I was in Broughton Primary. Thanks, Broughton Primary. Thanks for not realising maybe there should be a school nurse or something that you should take me to, or maybe the doctors. When a small child is acting like he's drunk off his face and can't stand, maybe there's something wrong. But no.
They probably just presumed you were drunk. I mean,
it's Edinburgh. It's too posh to get drunk that early.
Fair enough.
Fair point, well made.
But I ended up with like a concussion from that, and that made like parts of my brain like kind of go, ooh.
You had a ghost in your brain.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good way of describing it. And so basically, it made my brain function in weird ways quite frequently. So I was just a really weird teenager, like going through bouts of like intense depression and being absolutely fine, and then like
bipolar as fuck.
No, like just presenting all these different like symptoms, which made it really confusing for people trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with me, and everyone just assumed I was a moody teenager.
So, that's fair enough if they can't diagnose you, to be fair.
Probably moody teenager. Apparently that happens to quite a lot of teenagers though, where they're actually like depressed or like bipolar or something's really wrong with them, and they're like, they're just moody.
Yeah, that's fine. Most teenagers are. Yeah, so that's how you deal with it.
But then, thankfully I kind of my brain either healed or like I don't know. Fucking learn to accommodate it or something, because it doesn't happen anymore.
That's good.
So that's good, yeah. And then, of course, I had my supremely bad eczema. And then I also have pretty nasty nerve damage in one of my legs.
Nice.
Which, is exacerbated by steroids, which is nice.
It probably doesn't help as well that we've got a certain amount of stairs that we need to climb up to get to our flat every day.
Well, no, I mean it's fine. I just have to take like supplements, which it floods my body with potassium, I think it is.
That sounds like fun. You're basically a science experiment.
Yeah, because I think it was lack of potassium can give you nerve pain, and normally it's fine, but if I ever like get a shortage of potassium, my legs hurt like nobody's business.
So do you always have to carry like injections with you all the time? So
no, I take like a supplement every morning.
Okay.
And no, I get injected with steroids to keep my eczema under control.
Right.
That's the injections. Yeah, which is why I have to take the potassium supplements, because steroids give you a potassium shortage, which makes my legs hurt. So it's a vicious circle of just pain. Yeah, and I hate injections.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you've probably grown used to them by now.
No. You don't get used to regular injections. I fucking hate needles.
I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, needles is like the one thing most people really seem to struggle with. Are you bad with needles, Jamie?
Nah, I don't give a fuck.
No, to be honest, I'm the same. Like, do you mind, like, so you going into school, like, before getting the injections, were you always, like, the ones who are just like, nope, don't do this?
Oh, no, I mean, like, I'll like, go and get an injection. I won't enjoy my time.
I mean, yeah, no one really enjoys their time, but, like, you get the people that are really bitchy about it,
just
go on and deal with
I'll bitch about it, but I'll also just go in and get it done.
I love the people that bitched about it, right? And we got one where it was you got it and you lifted your arm to say we're gonna greet. So if you lift your arm, you're gonna cry because of the pain. So that whole day, I'm telling you, I swear to God, that whole day, me going up lifting people's arms, and then honestly, the tears that were shedded that day was hilarious. Honestly, I walked in the corridor, like, oh, you've had a jag.
Do you know what the worst part was when at our school, right? See, when it came to like the final, like one that we got at our school, we had like 3 guys faint, but no lasses that fainted. The amount of slagging they got was unbelievably bad. So then, obviously, you move on from high school. You stayed on. How long did you stay on?
I stayed until 6th year.
Are you surprised you didn't get kicked out?
I was very surprised. I had the second lowest attendance in the history. I was told by my guidance counsellor.
How low was it?
It was low 60s.
Fuck,
I can't remember exactly. Yeah.
It's quite amazing because see in our school, if it was some line drop below 80%, then like you're getting like let home, and if happens like twice, and you're basically kicked out.
Yeah, no, like I got called up for a lot of meetings and things. But for some reason I just kept on not getting thrown out. I'm not sure why.
So like what would happen then? Like were your parents in the house? Did you just stay in the house and go, I'm not going to school?
Well no, because my mum and dad like got divorced when I was like 10, 12, something like that. And like my dad moved all the way across to West Kilbride, which is right next to Saltcoats. It's literally across the country. And my mum like used to work in an office like every day, all day kind of thing. So there'd be no one in my house.
So you just stay.
So I could just like I'd wake up and be like, nah, I'm not going into today. I'm just going back to sleep. And that was
Did your parents ever get mad at you because of this?
I mean, my mum did when she found out, and then I don't know, it kind of just seemed to fade out of her mind, and then there'd be no real problem again. So you know.
So you're saying you got it easy?
Yeah, pretty much. I got it pretty easy. Yeah. Somehow I still left with qualifications in that year as well, which
that's quite amazing for 60% attendance.
It really is, because I had 100% attendance throughout the 4 years I was there.
Really? Did you?
Aye.
Okay, that's surprising.
It's quite impressive.
Especially if you should have seen him in school, that is really impressive.
100% attendance throughout the 4 years.
Do you think that's maybe something that's, because I heard someone talking about it the other day, do you think maybe it's something that's introduced to you in an early life, like, because I know some people it's taught them at quite a young age, you must be like at things on time all the time, you can't be ill sort of thing, you have to be there. Do you think maybe you were introduced to that but you weren't to a certain extent?
No, I think because my mum didn't start till 10 her work. So she every day was getting me up. Do you know what I mean? See my mum, see if I was in your position and my mum was already out.
You wouldn't.
And my dad was already out. The days I could have missed.
For sure.
I'm telling you. The days I woke, my mum would go, Jamie, get up. And I'd be like, oh, fucking hell. And then I would fall back asleep and she'd come in again. And she wouldn't stop until I was up.
Well, at least then you were forced into it.
Alright, so I was forced to go, but if I was in your shoes, I fucking definitely wouldn't have went as much.
So then, from there, what happened then? As soon as you left school, did you take the immediate uni path, gap year? What happened?
I'm trying to remember what I did now, because I like.
Come on, that was only about 5 years ago.
Oh well, it's because like over the course of like the next few years, like I went to a uni, 2 colleges, various different jobs.
So we start from the end then. What did you do first? Do you think?
Let me see. Right after, I believe I decided I wanted a complete change of what I wanted to do. And
so what did you originally want to do then?
Didn't really know, and foolishly I listened to my mother's advice on what to take in school, so I had all the wrong subjects for anything I was actually interested in. So thanks, Mum, really appreciate it. But like yeah, so I was like, I'm pretty big into computers, let's go and investigate programming. And so it's like, programming's pretty interesting, but this course is extremely AIDS.
Where were you doing the course?
That was the real mistake, was going to Stowe College in Glasgow.
From where? What college?
Stowe in Glasgow.
I've never heard of it, being honest.
It's right next to the highway of all places, and it's this big square Victorian building full of lecturers who clearly hate themselves. And because like we had one lecturer who if you wanted to speak in class you had to raise your hand, and you weren't allowed to swear at all. And it's like, it's
very different to our lectures.
And it's like we're all like 17, 18 plus, like fuck off. And like I had another lecturer who would just like half the time he just wouldn't be there in the class. And when he did come in, he'd come in with like a coffee, looking like he was dead, and he'd just be like, "Yeah, there's the material. Get on with the stuff." And we'd be like, "But we don't know how to do anything."
So it was very fun to learn. So you're saying.
It was challenging to learn. So I kind of just bailed on that because
like halfway through or quite early.
I bailed pretty early on because I got a pretty good sign of how it was gonna go from the start.
Yeah, and then from there, what did you do?
What I did next was I went and did music technology, and because I had really poor grades and I couldn't blag my way anywhere on life experience just yet because I was still pretty young at the time, I went to university of West of Scotland.
Oh no!
And that is something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
Oh well, unlucky Graham. Enjoy your time there next year.
Wait, Graham's going to UWS.
Yeah, next year.
Did nobody warn him?
We didn't know he was going until he booked it.
Does he know that he doesn't have to go? He could always like just like go and root around in a dump for some kind of guitar and get the same benefit.
He's not doing music over there, he's doing sports journalism.
At least he's not doing art. I saw their art department. Some of the shit that was in there was just.
So what was so bad about it then? Go on.
Well, for one, the student accommodation I stayed in had dial-up internet.
Oh no! Wait, what year was it you moved there?
I probably would have been about either 18 or 19 at that time. Probably.
Wasn't the internet as well invented the year you were born? So.
Yeah, same time the dinosaurs were around.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah, so that would have been 6 years ago.
Oh my god, that is absolutely dial-up.
So 2011, internet. And they had dial-up for This was brand new built. This was the brand. We were the first.
Wait, in the brand new building.
Yeah, brand new building had. I don't know if it was meant to be dial-up, but it was dial-up speed, so no one could use it for anything pretty much.
Nice.
And yeah, and they literally like blocked pretty much everything on it anyway, including YouTube.
They blocked YouTube.
Yeah, and you were basically only allowed to access emails or university like internet stuff, and it was poor. It was pretty poor. No, that was all blocked as well.
You'd have to go back home, download it all, then go back.
Yeah, it's basically what portable hard drives were invented for. But yeah,
so was it fun living there?
No, and that doesn't even count the fucking state of the buildings. Where like there was this weird bit that was like sub like it was like a basement level type classrooms, and it was like walking into like an abandoned hospital. And I really hope they've updated it because it was truly like bizarre.
To be fair, I went and I went and looked at UWS before I went to here, like as a thing. I didn't realise at this point it was bad. But honestly, like, see, look at the building, it must have been updated because the building actually looks really nice. Like,
well, this was a while ago, and they were working on like making it look not terrible.
It doesn't look bad now, it looks nice.
Yeah, no, because there was some of it was clearly like modernised, and some of it was not, because like I say, there was this weird bit that just looked like you walked into an abandoned hospital. And you're like, I feel like I'm going to get raped or mugged in here, or something horrible's going to happen. Or there's going to be a ghost fucking, you know, all over me any second.
So from then, what happened?
I kind of dropped out of that again because I was...
How early on?
After the first semester.
Went at it all. Did you see the student accommodation? Was it like ours? Like, did you share with like a couple of folk? Or was it single rooms?
The rooms were even smaller. But
is that possible?
But we had a larger like kitchen living room area
with
like proper actual seating.
That's nice.
And a big TV. So, you know, they spend all this money on a flat screen, but they can't give you proper internet. You know, excellent.
It maybe shows the problem.
Yeah. And then there were the people that kept on setting off the fire alarm.
That's nice.
At 3 a.m. when
really
it was
nice.
Raining. Yeah, that was great.
That does sound like fun.
Yeah. That only happened a few times here, which was okay. I think you missed a lot of those.
No, I saw it like, it only happened like twice, I think, and I was there for both times. The really annoying one was, it was actually during our October holidays. I only stayed one day in the flat during the October holiday, and it was the one day the fire alarm went off at like 5 a.m. or some shit. And then it was when our flat got shouted at because Jamie didn't get out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We'll get on to Jamie in a bit.
We've not yet reached the present day.
So from there then what
So
happened?
after that, that was when I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go work a job for a while. And so I came to Stirling and moved in with a mate.
Mate from uni or school? No?
Mate from school, actually.
Yeah. Whereabouts in Stirling did you say?
What was it called now? It's that wee bit over next to, like, you know where the Waitrose and the TK Maxx is?
Yeah, no.
Like directly opposite the Mathlan there, just across the road. It was in that like set of buildings.
And how was living there then?
It was certainly an experience because it was the kind of place where you'd witness drunk fights on the street outside. I don't know where they came from, but they would fight on the street outside, like, because we were on the ground floor. And so you'd hear this shit, like you'd hear like people screaming at each other in the street and like chasing each other up and down and getting into fights. And then there was the really weird time where we just saw a shadow at the window and we're like, that's really weird, like, you know. And then we flipped a coin to see who's going to go and check on it in case, you know, you get stabbed through the window or something, because you never know. And so I went and had a look at the window, and it's just this like guy just off his face on something, just standing there like staring through the window with just like the most vacant expression. And it's, you know,
like a horror movie, but
it was bizarre because he just didn't react to me pulling aside the curtain. You know, I think he was just seeing an entirely different fucking realm from everyone else.
I thought it was like the TV.
Maybe.
Yeah, so what job were you doing at that point?
That was when I was working at the call centre in Larbert.
How would you rate your experience working at Sky out of 10? I'll be like one of those call people.
I would rather be bummed by a cactus than work there again. Because ultimately it was the same experience for less pleasure.
I mean, go ahead and explain what sort of things happened in this call centre.
Well, the training bit was fine. We actually got trained for 3 weeks.
Seems like quite a long
They
time.
do 3 weeks full-time training for a place with a turnover of like 90% when I worked there. In fact, I think it was approaching 100% turnover when I worked there. It's why they're hiring all the time. But like, yeah, so that bit was fine. And then we actually went out to work and we got to meet our team leader. And she is the pinnacle of incompetence and shifting the blame. Because like, you'd get calls in and you're meant to handle like all the calls yourself if you can. Yeah. But then there's some that obviously you can't do anything about because you're just like a frontline grunt with no actual like ability to do anything. So you have to escalate it to a manager. And of course our manager would be like, no, just go and do this and deal with it. And I'd be like, yeah, but you know, we've done all the things we have to pass on to managers. Like, no, just go do this. And then we go to a different team manager and we'd be like, hey, our manager can't take this call. Can you come and take this call for us? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. And that was kind of the first sign that maybe this manager was not the best of managers. Yeah.
So you really loved it.
Yeah.
Especially getting shouted down the phone continuously, I imagine it's fun.
I mean, I had some interesting experiences, like the woman who apparently couldn't see standard definition TV and had to, of course, have a free upgrade to HD because it was the only way she'd be able to watch the rugby. I mean, personally, I've never had a problem seeing standard definition because there's these things called glasses. And if you can't see well, you've probably got a pair somewhere. Maybe contact lenses.
Or you could go and buy a pair from Poundland.
Exactly, if that's the way you choose to live your life. And yeah, but I also met some like really nice folk on the phone. Normally it's the old people that are really nice.
Usually it is.
Yeah, like I talked to this it was like this old war veteran guy that like managed some like company now and had this like fucking huge business account, and I got on really well with him. He was really nice.
Is that the sort of like parts of the job where you think,
yeah,
it isn't too bad sometimes.
The thing is, like, if everyone just talked to you like a human being, it would be so easy. Like, you'd get on well with everyone. It'd be super easy to solve all the problems. Everyone would get the best deals because you'd be perfectly happy to help people out because you've got nothing else to do while you're sitting there. But instead you get all the people that call up and they scream at you because they don't understand about getting billed for the month ahead. And you're
that the main one?
Yes. And the number of people, right, that fucking live on the dole and have a £30 Sky bill is just too high. Like, they call up and they'd be like, yeah, but I can't afford it. Can you not get a bit cheaper? And then we literally had like a fucking wrote a script we were to read out at that point, which was basically like, Sky is a luxury, not a necessity. and it was
basically stop fucking paying for Sky.
Yeah, if you can't afford Sky, don't have Sky.
It's also not that great anymore. It used to be worth it, but it definitely isn't anymore.
Yeah, just whatever you do, don't get Sky's internet.
Well, I mean, we've seen Tasha's
yeah, exactly.
Or not.
I warned her, and she went and did it anyway, and now she's fucking getting the repercussions.
Yeah, it's so bad, though, isn't it?
I mean, I've got the Sky channels, but I've not got their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, never get the Wi-Fi. It's literally the worst you can get, pretty much. But there was the other great benefit, right? Was all of the engineers, right, for installing stuff. A lot of them are fucking weird as shit, and there were a lot of stories that used to get swapped around because
Did the engineers work in the same building as you?
No. Like, they were the people that would go out and do installations and things and do maintenance. No, they were a totally different place. And there used to be because customers would call up and complain about if the engineers did anything weird and so on, and occasionally we just find out anyway if they'd done something wrong. But there was stuff the engineer turns up to this old lady's house and demands a sandwich or he's not going to install her Sky, and then and it's literally refusing to do anything until he gets a sandwich, and she's like, okay, I guess I'll make you a sandwich. So then he eats the sandwich and then he leaves.
Are you sure this was a Sky engineer?
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is that there are people that go around and impersonate Sky engineers. So we're like, are you 100% sure it was a Sky engineer? And then it turns out, yeah, it was actually a Sky engineer who just turned up, got a sandwich off this poor old lady and just left again.
Why would you do that?
Because, all the visits are tracked, so you can't exactly get away with it. And then there's the other one, which was bizarre, and this engineer went to install Sky in this guy's house.
Yeah.
And blew it up.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
How did he do that?
Not entirely sure. No one really knows. I can only assume he somehow hit a gas line or something. But yeah,
the whole house blew up.
It was not proper detonated, because otherwise the engineer would be dead. But it was the house was so damaged that he had to move out, and Sky basically paid to repair all of the house and replace all the stuff, and gave him free Sky for life. That's how I found out about it, because there was this guy with free Sky for life on his account, and I was like, so how do you get this? And he was like, yeah, engineer destroyed my house. And I was like, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, you've got he literally had the best fucking package you could get. He had everything free for life.
Yeah, but you know what? He deserves it. He had his house blown up.
It's because, the thing is, right, see, if you ever have a big problem with Sky, they will pay you off before they will ever want to go to court, because they don't want the bad press. So if you ever have a huge problem, you can always get something really nice from them. which is
I mean, you still don't want the bad thing.
You don't want the bad thing, but at least you know you'll get something out of it. Like, you'll get some compensation at least.
That's fair enough. So from Sky then, well, how long did you last at Sky?
Sky, I lasted 3 months. It was that
lasted, or did you leave after the 3 months?
3 months was the end of probation, and I was like, I'm going now.
Aye, so then...
I'm pretty sure they wanted to fire me anyway, so it worked out.
So where did you go then from that?
That was when I started working for the publishing company my mum works for. Yay for nepotism. And that's basically how I've paid my bills until now.
So wait, when did you start working there? Well, start working from your bed.
Yeah, no, it was years ago. I've been working for at least like 5 years for them, I think.
To be fair, I would if I made him.
Maybe more.
You did.
Yeah, it's £9 an hour for just regular work, and £10 an hour if it's like if I have to go and man like a stall at a convention or something.
Oh, I didn't realise you actually did that.
Yeah, no, I've done that. I've got like a box of like 500 pens somewhere because like the convention didn't go so well and we didn't really give away many pens. So I was like, can I just have this box? And they're like, yes. I was like, okay, excellent.
Oh well, at least you'll never run out of pens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then what happened from that point? Is at that point then you joined the current course you're on?
Well, I moved back to Glasgow while I was working there for a while.
Yeah.
And then I decided, I was like, like spur of the moment decision, I want to go to uni now. And so I was like, and I just bashed out an application like a single night.
You know what they say, third time lucky?
Yeah, and then it turns out that the way Stirling University works, I want to go there and do a history course. And the way it works is they've got a number of spots that are for foreign students and only for foreign students.
And they won't give them leave now.
And so even if you get into clearances with that course, right, and not all the spots for foreign students are filled, they can't let people that are like domestic students take those spots, even though the course will have these spots open like basically for the rest of the year then, which is so infuriating.
I bet it is.
Yeah. And then I got emailed by someone at university who was like, hey, have you thought about this course, which was the Heritage and Tourism course I'm doing now? And I was like, no, I didn't even know about this course, and they were like, oh, go ahead, you can come along for an interview and a talk about what the course is about. I was like, yeah, alright. So I just kind of wandered along, didn't really prepare at all.
Nice.
And and I had a nice good chat with the guy who's now he's now moved on to do something else. He no longer works there. It's a shame. He was a nice guy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Stephen.
Yeah, Stephen.
Yeah,
Stephen McGeever, I think it was.
Yeah, no, he interviewed me and got me my place.
Yeah.
He was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
He clearly knows a lot, so he's very knowledgeable about digital media when he's talking to me.
He's the liaison between the university and the college for all of the integrated courses.
That was a very stressful job.
Yeah. Yeah, so so he just let me on the course and I was like, yeah, nice. Because I didn't have the grades for the course technically. And the course obviously had really selective entrance requirements.
Yeah.
Because the course had space for 15 people and we only had 11. And according to Ben, at the proper day when everyone was there was 100 people there for the interview.
That's quite a lot then.
Yeah, so they obviously turned down quite a lot of people.
And still accepted you.
Yeah.
They turned down too many, went, shit, we've turned down too many.
Well, no, because we were talking to them about the requirements and they're like, yeah, we want people who would actually be able to, talk to tourists, because you have to be able to actually socialise in a non awkward and weird way and actually be able to sell products or whatever to people or convey information and all that stuff. Yeah. And somehow they let Jamie onto the course.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Okay, so we'll go. Well, obviously the obvious question: you still enjoying the course now?
Yeah, the course is pretty good, especially now that I'm up at the uni finally for part of my course. It's the best part.
Fair enough. Right. Okay. So then, obviously, you moved into flat 1F.
1F.
How do you describe your experiences in general?
I mean, it was variable.
It was variable.
Yeah, due to the flatmate that was between me and Liam.
Yeah.
Called Jamie, and what he did was, for one, he'd get very angry at video games
and only play video games.
And only play video games. He wouldn't even go to class half the time. He'd just play video games and get really angry, to the point where he would slam the desk with his fist so hard that it would make the radiators in both of our rooms vibrate on the wall.
At 3 in the morning.
At 3 in the morning, yeah. very considerate guy, you know.
Yeah, and I managed to drown it out by the end, so...
Yeah, and the other thing he did was make really bizarre nocturnal noises. And I mean very weird.
Yes.
Like, the very first night I went to sleep there, it's actually when you weren't there yet. Yeah. Like, I'm lying in bed, and it's like 11, and like, there's just silence from Jamie's room. And then I hear him get up, and he starts pacing for like half an hour. He's just pacing around his room. And I'm like, maybe he's just anxious about, you know, being in a new place. And then, like, I hear him approach his wardrobe, and I hear the very distinct noise of him getting a coat hanger out of his wardrobe. And then there's just this really bizarre noise, which sounds like him. It's the only way I just can describe it to people is him losing a fight with a coat hanger, and it goes on for like 10 minutes, and I'm just like, I'm trying to work out what the fuck is he doing. And so, you know, I don't know, it's still mind-boggling. Like, how do you make that much noise with a coat hanger?
We did have some weird times in that flat, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we had, obviously, Aldo and Ewan as our other two.
Yeah, Ewan and Phoebe, who would come and make a mess.
Yeah.
The young conservative, as she's now known on Facebook.
There's this boy's girlfriend, you know the page BBC Social, Jamie? Aye, she's appeared on that as a young conservative voter, spreading the good word of Theresa May.
About how Theresa May is the face of unity for the Tory party. She's a strong leader. Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
That was my response as well.
I know.
Though, she sounds so posh as well, that's the worst part.
I know, it doesn't help her case.
Yeah, and the fact that for some reason she's like either a second or third generation immigrant and she's voting Tory is just beyond me.
Oh well, people will be weird. Okay, I'm gonna give you a struggle here, right? You can only replace one of the two people in our flat, Jamie or Ewan, because then if you get rid of Ewan, Phoebe isn't there. So
I would have got rid of Ewan, to be honest, because at least Jamie didn't make a mess in the kitchen.
Yeah,
and the noises were funny.
They were when I first, because the night when I first stayed there, I found because I was just sitting there and I heard this for about 20 minutes and I had class the next day and I was thinking, because I obviously didn't speak to anyone in their class at that point, so I just went onto Facebook, found Duncan by his name there, message, just went, can you hear this in the middle? He's like, yep, I can. We're just like, what the fuck is he doing in there? Honestly, especially at the start every night, it'd be slam his hands on the desk, it would be go over to his wardrobe and cupboard, start opening and closing drawers, fiddle with the hangers. It was honestly like there was a demon living next door to us.
Yeah, that was my theory that I kept telling everyone.
Yeah, no, Jamie was a weird boy. Okay, and if you're going to rate our experience of living there, then out of 10, where would it go?
I would give it about 7.5.
I'd give it a 7. I think that was fair.
Yeah, because it was pretty good, but at the same
time,
time,
it
had its problems.
Especially being you and me were the only ones that cleaned the kitchen and the living room.
Yeah, maybe I should take a point off really for the fact that Ewan scratched my nice expensive Teflon pot and then refused to admit to it.
Oh yeah, wait, I thought it was Aldo.
No, it wasn't Aldo. I knew it was Ewan.
Didn't Aldo ruin one?
No, Aldo ruined someone else's pot. It wasn't mine. I was trying to teach him how to make popcorn and he failed badly. But
nice.
Yeah, no, I knew I've known Aldo used my pot. I've been there when he used it, and he hasn't damaged it.
Oh, well,
so I know it was Ewan, and Ewan never admitted to it because he's a bitch. So
that's fair enough. Right, so I think we're going to get into the first of two games. I was looking up. Unfortunately, there won't be any news today because basically, looking through the news website, there was no news to go through. It was a slow news day, as it says. What we do first is play a game called What Do You Think Of? So basically I'm going to give you one word responses and you need to try and think quickly and sort of give a response to it. So for example, I would say to Jamie, Scotland.
Best country in the world.
So something like that, okay? You ready?
Okay.
It doesn't have to be, you're not timed out, so just try and think of the first one that comes into your head. So, Scotland.
Disappointing.
South Africa.
Even worse.
Education system.
Passable.
Drugs.
I mean, makes for a good time.
Alcohol.
Makes for an even better time.
Gaming.
Makes for also a good time.
England.
I'm not the biggest fan.
Travelling.
Yeah, that's alright. I've travelled a bit.
Theresa May.
No thanks.
Tories.
No thanks even more.
Tattoos.
Yeah, thinking about getting one.
Mm-hmm. Your family.
Tolerable.
Right, okay, then we'll go through me.
Also tolerable.
Thank you. That's better than I was expecting. Ben.
Less tolerable.
Keelan.
He's a weird boy.
Tasha.
She might be a weird boy.
Jamie.
Definitely very strange.
Ewan.
Makes a lot of mess and whipped.
Phoebe.
No.
Finally, Aldo.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's also a bit weird though.
Yeah, true. Okay then. And from that, should we do the quick fire game?
Go for it, mate. Aye, go for
Well,
it.
you want to explain what I get up then?
Cool. Basically, Liam's going to get a game. It's quick fire questions, as we call it, right? It's basically, you get the choice, it gives you the alphabet, it chooses a letter for you. Now you can re-roll it if you want another letter. And then what we do is we put, it's 10 questions it gives you, right? So, toiletries, for example, and then say the letter is H. You know what I mean? You've got to say something beginning in H that relates to toiletries. Now, you get 10 questions. The aim of the game is to get all 10 right as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you get 5 wrong, but it's a DNF, you do not qualify, right?
Then we'll give you one chance to redo again. However, if you get 2 DNFs in a row, you will be the first DNF on the board.
No pressure.
So the times to beat, well, you can see up there, we've got Alba sitting at the top with 38 seconds and 9 right. We've got Connor then with 41.4 with 9 right. Then Jamie on 104. Graham on 108, Francis on 112, me on 115, you on 119, and finally Joe on 142.
All I'm going to say is, do not take me away from my bronze position. And I won't be happy.
I will be very happy if you do this because I guarantee you the next podcast we do, you'll be like, right, no, Liam, we need to do it again.
Just don't take me away from my bronze position.
Do you understand then?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to roll down to your number, remember your letter. Remember, you can change it if you want to, okay?
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
before or after I find out the question?
No.
Like you get the letter and then you find out the question. So like it gives you questions like, so it'll say like toiletries, cars.
Oh yeah, no, I mean
or
that.
something.
No, if I'm reloading my letter.
No, you don't get any questions. So they basically give you a letter. You think, do I want that letter or no? You
Alright, and
re-roll
then,
it first.
okay.
You think basically how
Have your
many
letter
things
then
can I
you-
put that word into? So Duncan, your letter's given you is F. Do you want to re-roll or stick? I wouldn't say F's a great one
Yeah,
personally.
reroll. I can't.
You are risking it though because you might get something.
It could
decent.
be like it could be like X or something.
We haven't had an X yet. I'm really worried.
Reroll one.
Look
X,
up.
don't like that.
X.
If it goes with X, I'll just accept my.
Oh,
D.
for fuck's
Okay.
Oh, it's meant to be, isn't it, Duncan?
Right, Duncan, are you ready? I'll give you a countdown. I'll read out the questions, but you can see them on the phone as well.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1. Parts of the body. You can pass it well if you don't want it.
Parts of the body.
We give him a D. Come on.
Dick is one.
Yeah, thank you. Things at a circus. You can pass if you can't think.
Nah, pass.
Words ending in N.
That's a
Come on, that can be anything.
Don is a title in
Yeah.
Spain.
Toys.
This is a lot of pressure. I didn't realise how difficult this
Yeah,
would be.
exactly.
Fucking doll.
Yep. Things found in a desk.
Drawer.
Yep. A drink.
This is making me sad. Why can't I think of one with D? Pass. Fuck it.
Reasons to make a phone call.
Debt.
Yep. Parts of a body.
Again.
You can say the same one.
Can you? Dick
Yeah.
then. Why not?
Ways to get from here to there.
Directions.
Yep. Right, okay. And one more, an embarrassing moment.
I mean, no, that doesn't technically qualify as embarrassing.
I'm going to click pass as well if I don't believe it's correct.
No, I don't have one. Fuck's sake.
Oh
Per
dear.
time. Per time.
Well, for the audience, in fact, well, Jamie, you can put up with a time of 2:08.
Oh Jesus!
No, sorry, 2 minutes. 2 minutes exactly. 0.08. 0.08.
Oh, you've got a dodgy pen, mate.
Oh no.
Yeah,
There's no way. Try this one.
Dodgy pen.
Sad times.
I mean, I felt bad. I probably
right.
would have gave you. I probably would have gave you another go, to be honest, but I'm not Liam.
Well, it's up to you. I'll give you the option if you want. I'm just saying you've been, broken our streak of not giving that opportunity to people like Joe who didn't get a second chance.
The thing is, Joe was actually half decent. He was just, I don't think he quite understood the concept.
Maybe.
Whereas, I mean, you were that first time and stuff. It's difficult.
I'm just not very good at that kind of thing.
I can't believe you.
If you want, alright, Joe, I'll be fair to you. As it was your birthday yesterday, I will give you the chance for one more go if you want. If you don't want, it's fine.
No, I don't mind. It probably wouldn't go much better. I'm not very good at that kind of thing.
Alright, okay then. Well, I appreciate your honesty and staying at the bottom of the board. Thank you. Just before we end it, me and Jamie will do the predictions for the Premier League. As it was the international break last week, no games.
What shite.
It was, yeah, no, don't ask us about Scotland. Jamie, you ready?
I am.
Right, Liverpool v Man United.
Man United.
Man United. Burnley v West Ham.
Burnley.
Draw. Crystal Palace v Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yep, Chelsea. Man City v Stoke.
City.
City. Swansea v Huddersfield.
Huddersfield.
Swansea.
Oh.
Spurs v Bournemouth.
Spurs.
Spurs as well. Watford v Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Arsenal as well. Brighton v Everton.
Draw.
Draw as well. Southampton v Newcastle.
Castle.
Draw. Leicester v West Brom.
Leicester.
Leicester. We've actually got quite a few different ones.
We have.
Right, until next week where it'll be just me and Jamie. Oh yeah, before we go as well, again I know we said at the start, but thank you very much for supporting the iTunes podcasts as well, because we seem to be getting a few decent views because it appeared on the homepage, so I just wanted to say thank you. And if you want to listen to the podcast while you're out and not spend a shit ton of 4G on YouTube, then go over to iTunes. Until next week though, Duncan, thank you for being on the podcast, I appreciate it.
That's alright.
And I've been Liam Whyte.
I've been Jamie Allan.
And I've been Duncan Paisley.
And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.